The Main Line is considered the wealthy suburbs of Philadelphia.
The term came from the railroad line that connects Philadelphia to its original western suburbs.
It's a calling card that I have culture or I have success.
I remember being one of those really nice, first-time warm outside days. A lot of kids are out riding their bikes for the first time, or moms are pushing strollers.
The Main Line is an idyllic place for families. Privacy is valued highly here, and people don't like drama.
I heard the radio transmission, multiple gunshot wounds.
At that moment, my heart just sank, because we don't really receive those type of calls.
I come outside, all up and down the street is just police cars, ambulances, all flashing their lights.
When we arrived on scene, it was kind of chaotic.
Thinking homicide right away, you know.
One of the first people that police encounter on the scene is 49-year-old Mark Gerardot, and he is extremely agitated.
He said, "I think my wife might be inside."
They questioned me, and I was so upset with them for about checking me that I was yelling at them.
So as police begin to piece together what exactly happened on this normally very quiet street, a shocking tale emerges. One that begins decades earlier when Mark Gerardot first meets his wife, Jennair.
Waiting in the wings, whispering such pretty things, had a hold of his heart.
It was the summer of 1986.
I would have been 18.
I had a mullet and a Firebird.
And Jennair would have been 16.
When Mark first met Jennair, she was working in Taco Bell, wearing a little Taco Bell cap.
She made a brown polyester uniform look really good.
Big, beautiful blue eyes and big smile. But I was kind of tongue-tied. I couldn't even speak. I would see her occasionally. We both were in swing choir.
She's rising, it isn't surprising, she certainly can.
But I never had an opportunity to talk to her.
The real romance didn't begin until 4 years later when Mark ran into her completely by chance.
And eventually one day she finally just said, "Are you going to ask me out or what?"
I was quiet, shy.
In contrast, Jennair, she was the rebel in a leather jacket.
She's a dream of the
Said whatever she wanted to say all the time, and she didn't care what anybody else thought of her, which is the exact opposite of me.
Jennair was a rule breaker, and that was exciting to Mark.
She was a shining star that I wanted to follow.
When she met Mark, I can remember her talking, "This is the one." She was very excited. She would do anything for Mark.
Mark liked her a lot. He was excited for us to meet her. When he's in, he's in. He was in love, and this was the one.
She was just a stunning bride.
I'm the bride, I'm Jennair.
We were happy, and I couldn't imagine not being with her the rest of my life.
Mark and Jennair could be your next door neighbors. They could be your siblings. They could be your husband or wife. They grew up together. They matured together.
Did you ever talk about having children with Jennair?
We often did, especially early, talking about having a family, and yet there was really no plan. So we had 2 golden retrievers. They were our children.
Really cute, look at that face. Look at that face.
Like any marriage, there were good times, there were bad times, there were fights.
Our fights, some of them were epic.
I wasn't privy to all the behind the scenes of their relationship and their life together, but I knew there was intense disagreements, intense reactions to things.
You didn't win an argument with Jennair. She was always going to have the last word.
What would you say the biggest stress on your marriage was?
I think, money was always a concern. The economy turned, and it just changed everything for us. It was a really bad time. A lot of stress during that time.
By 2011, they'd been married 18 years, and they are living in South Carolina.
It became kind of our renaissance of our marriage. We explored the mountains, the beaches.
Money and career were still an issue. Both of them worked in marketing. Mark's career was going well, Jennair's not.
When Jennair lost her job, she lost a lot. She lost, her pride, and she couldn't find another job.
Mark said they both decided it was time for a change and a new start.
That's when I found the opportunity for creative director at the University of Delaware.
He looked to see who was doing the hiring there, and he found a woman named Meredith Chapman. He reached out to her and sent her an email introducing himself. And he was thrilled when she replied right away.
You land an interview with Meredith Chapman.
I did.
15 years younger than you?
She was.
What was that initial meeting like?
I was actually very concerned. I was concerned about me reporting to someone who was so much younger, had so much less experience. When I sat across the desk from her within 5 minutes, I didn't say it out loud, but I said, I've got to work for this person. She was so articulate and so accomplished at her age to be in the position she was in. I was dumbfounded.
And then you get the offer.
I did.
He was excited about that job. It was a good job. He was also excited, I think, to move to that area of the country. This was someplace kind of moving up, if you will.
One of the last memories of August 2017 was sharing that once-in-a-lifetime view of the solar eclipse.
In that moment, in the eclipse, in the darkness, were you happy?
I think we were our version of happy. I had my arm around her and we were just basking in the moment.
Look at me, Mark, look at it!
60 days later, it all came crashing down.
Bloodshed in Pennsylvania.
Gruesome discovery. Residents are still reliving the grisly discovery.